watch this because this NakeyJakey video looks interesting, and apparently it's like really good. So NakeyJakey has a brand new video called NakeyJakey is Outdated. And it's got a weird avant-garde thumbnail. And it's got digital NakeyJakey as the first frame with a Tom Hanks t-shirt. On a scale of 1 to 10, Tom Hanks being a 5, what am I? What does that mean? I don't know. Let's watch it.
How's it going? It's your girl NakeyJakey, aka Sleepboy229.
Holy, his whole history.
Ten years ago, on Monday, November 30th, 2015, I uploaded a YouTube video called Games That Should Bang, Grand Theft Auto 5 and Metal Gear Solid 5. I always did have a knack for short clickbaity titles. For 7 of those 10 years, Team Cherry, a very small game developer from Australia, was working on one thing.
Is it about
the highly
SilkSong?
anticipated sequel to their hit game Hollow Knight, SilkSong. SilkSong finally came out in September to everyone's surprise and proceeded to crash every gaming storefront known to man.
Yeah.
And I proceeded to play the absolute devil out of it. So naturally, being a YouTube video essayist critic who gives a shit, I thought to myself, oh, I just gotta make a video about this. But then I had even more thoughts. Thoughts about myself and my experience as a game critic. Thoughts about what value game critics even hold. Thoughts like, why do I, of all people, a dumbass from South Dakota with a high school level education, possess any right or platform to cast my banal thoughts into an oversaturated sea of men standing in front of green screens going, are you a 22 to 34-year-old male that remembers nostalgia? Remember Xbox? Remember Mountain Dew in your innocence? remember the Titans? Wait, but isn't that like
Holy
whole thing?
Those also like good video
your
titles.
Thing is constantly saying stupid shit like this is too linear and this is too outdated, and if every game isn't either Fallout New Vegas or Dark Souls,
I want to get my thought immediately though, because I do agree. Well, I think in general, games criticism as a serious art is stupid. I think it's stupid. I think I think the same about music criticism, to be honest. I think it's so subjective. However, the reason you like someone like NakeyJakey is not because he's going off some incredibly intelligent, I went to Harvard, got a PhD in this objective rubric. It's because you like his vibes and you probably have a similar taste. It's the reason you like Donkey. I think Donkey has proven that he likes similar things that I like. So when I hear his reviews praising things that I go, I like those things, then I trust him for future things because he plays more than I do. So he plays the game, he likes it. I go, oh, that's worth trying out because Donkey's vibes are good, basically. That's all it is. It's just vibe matching. That's the role of a modern reviewer, is that I am finding someone who has more activity in the space than me, who has similar vibes. And then I latch on to them, and if they like it, I will probably like it. Saves me time. That's a service. That's a valuable. I mean, maybe he doesn't want to do that. I'm just saying, but that's what game criticism is now. I think the idea of like, oh, there's a website where they have a reviewer who's perfect, and they're going to give the honest out of 10 score for this game. That's stupid. Obviously, that's fucking stupid. It doesn't mean anything. But yeah, the idea of someone whose aesthetic or taste or vibes you fuck with having an opinion on something is interesting and helpful and good. Reviewers can't be the tutorial boss. It's not about whether or not they're good or not. It's not the point I'm making. If IGN got a reviewer who's really fucking cracked at the game, that wouldn't make their score suddenly accurate. It's just a person. They just hired someone and they paid them games journalist wages to give a game a score. If I don't know that person, their score means nothing to me. Doesn't really mean anything, bro. And because the difference of whether you like a game or not can depend so much on like, did you like other games like this? Did you enjoy the multiplayer part of the game? Did you enjoy it? Whatever. All that stuff only comes through if you know the person playing it. If you know that person and what they're like and how much it matches to your experience, then you can get the gist. Yeah, the reviewer matters more than the outlet for sure.
Eyeball are gonna growl at you, but you are not the one at least trying.
But I will say this, there's another thing. Someone made a chat message that made me think of this. I think the vast majority of viewership for YouTube video game reviews is from people that already like the game and want their opinion validated. They've already played it. They already like it. Sometimes before they've even played the game, they want you to like it so they know that their opinion of the game before they've even played it is good. Okay? And that does suck. And if he's talking about that in this video, I'll agree with him. I think that sucks. Album reaction, same thing. It's not someone being like, oh, I want to know if this album is good or not. Let me hear an opinion. They're like, I want to hear someone with some clout agree with me. That is the audience demand. So maybe, okay, I'm actually working into like why I would hate this too. I wonder if he talks about this.
To make Starfield, you are not the one at least trying to make The Last of Us Part 2. Bro, you are not the thinker. You are the one barely managing to write a script right now in between your prolonged bathroom sessions of scrolling YouTube shorts for 30 minutes, and you are the one who just used the wrong "your" back there. Okay, what is happening right now? I mean, what even qualifies as a good sequel in the eyes of the self-appointed online critic YouTube fucker anyway? Is it getting more of the same but bigger, better, and more badass? Is it the overt, haha, remember that one, fan service? Is it defying expectations and just pissing everyone off and saying, all right, fuck it, here's Raiden, have fun, he's gonna get his gummy worm out later, and he does naked gummy worm cartwheels too. Yeah, it's probably a lot of those things on like a case-by-case basis. What's the genius title gonna be this time, you 10-year yoga yapping yokel bitch? Team Cherry's game design is outdated.
It's different this time, damn it.
How about Team Cherry's game design is frustrating, Team Cherry's game design is brilliant, Team Cherry's game design is punishing, satisfying, obtuse, enthralling, clever, good, bad, complicated, simple, but it's not just one fucking word. Won't you finally realize, after doing this,
well, it has to be one word for the title,
decade, that nothing and no one can ever be summed up by just one.
Oh, this is cinema. Wait, he's making art today. I didn't know NakeyJakey was going to make some art. I'm excited to see this. Got his brother to make the music. Bug math. Not worried about spoilers because I beat the game.
Okay, so I'm definitely going through some sort of midlife crisis as far as the trajectory of my career goes, but all of that aside, I really do want to make a good, interesting review on SilkSong. But what even is a good review when everything is so incredibly subjective? I mean, I guess my hope is that when you're watching my videos, you're always seeing it through the lens that this is one man's deranged thoughts and not a objective opinion that everyone should have. But what if my videos had a numbered score at the end of them, and that score was aggregated on Metacritic, and that score brought down the overall Metacritic rating, and now the developer failed to meet the publisher's expectations and people lose their jobs? I mean, fuck it, Microsoft kills companies that get good Metacritic scores. Suddenly, a subjective opinion carries a lot more responsibility with it. I'm not saying mine necessarily does, thank God, but still, if your opinion is potentially going to be seen by millions of people and it's the thing that pays your bills and you throw a sponsor in the middle of it, it all just starts to get a little weird if you think about it too much, which I definitely am not. I would never. But at the same time, obviously, we need criticism. No one has all the time in the day to shovel through mountains of music, movies, TV shows, and games to figure out what's good and what's dog shit. Games are
especially right now, just to be clear. Like, we are at a time where there's like more mountains of new games and music and movie than ever. It's overwhelming saturation. People are constantly content addicted and they can't watch it all. So you have to have some sort of way, some sort of taste maker that you trust to cut through the noise. There's just no other way to find things. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, If you were just to watch One Piece on someone's recommendation, there goes your fucking 2 months. That's one thing. That's one thing, bro. There's too much. There's too much. So it's curators. I mean, yeah, people said Northern Lion. He's a great example of this. Many people use Northern Lion. If he likes a game, they buy the game because they like his vibes. If he plays a lot of games, he has his full-time job. And so when you know what I'm saying? That is the purpose of it.
Even weirder, though, because they demand something of you, an active participation where what could be extremely hard and inaccessible for one is binky-dinky bullshit baby tummy time for others. Not to mention, some are asking you for $70 or $80 now, and even the good ones can still release as a stuttering, shader-compiling, unreal amount of issues Engine 5, RTX on DLSS, HD,
it's amazing.
Data laboratory.
But even if SilkSong is your cup of tea,
which
it certainly is mine, it is also really fucking hard. That much has certainly been established. But is it too hard? And is it so hard?
I want to say something. Maybe you can talk about this way more. I'm going to give you, I put a lot of hours into Hollow Knight 1, and I've put a lot of hours now into SilkSong. This is not a get good, and this is not a, ho, I'm a gamer. I think SilkSong obviously starts harder than Hollow Knight. Obviously. It's less accessible. And maybe it's even more punishing, especially in the first half. But I think the late game of SilkSong is easier. What did Harris say? Like the ending of SilkSong, it's not a letdown, it's a great game, but it's way easier. What did Harris say? You know what's easy, honestly, is getting highly ranked in Age of Empires. Straight up. That's what I think. I got 1,500 in a month, bro. I'd probably get fucking 2,800. You know what would be really easy is getting 3,000. But some people can't seem to do it. Some people seem to do it, like spend their full day, all day, every day, trying to do it, and they can't seem to do it. Like if that was my full-time job and that's all I had to do, I feel like I would knock it out in no time. But I guess I have a lot of other things going on. By the way, Hera, Twitch Wrapped. What is it? Twitch recap. Top 4, baby. Top 4. You know I'm in there. 100 hours. You know I'm in there. I might talk shit, but I'm in there, bro. You passed Ludwig, bro. Ludwig was one of my groomsmen. And I'm watching your ass. Up there with Cadril, that's crazy. Damn, that is crazy because I fuck with Cadril heavy. Honestly, I need to bump you guys down. Cadril needs to pass stands, bro. I thought Cadril was my GOAT this year. I watched every T1 game through him. You be lurking in Cadril's chat? I do drop a let's go T1 every now and then in there. I do love it. Are you Stan's top 1? Asking me, no way. First of all, Stan's barely watches content. There's no way he watches me. The reason I have so much Stan's watching is because he streams in the mornings. He streams like right when I'm just sitting at my computer. Dog, you watch less Twitch than I do, and I only watch you. I mean, if you add up all my hours, really not that much Twitch for a guy that streams on Twitch. I watch YouTube. I'm a YouTube guy. I'm a YouTuber, bro. My money comes from YouTube. I'm a YouTube guy. I make money from YouTube. I watch YouTube. I only do this Twitch thing as a fucking. This is I'm not a Twitch guy. I'm abandoning Twitch. It's a side hustle. We're YouTube guys. What about us? Well, you guys are also YouTube guys because you're part of this collaborative play. This is a 3,000 person play where we create content for YouTube. And you've all been cast in your roles. You have been cast as the guy that says glizzy a lot. And you've been cast as the guy that says glizzy a lot. And you've been cast as the guy that says glizzy a lot. And you've been cast as the guy that says Poggy's me. Okay? And it's an incredible live action LARPing.
That the Metacritic score should be lowered because of its too hardness. And what does too hard necessarily even mean? What does too hard even look like? What does too hard feel like? What does too hard sound like? God damn. Okay, you're cut off, so let's try to break down hardness into two things, difficulty and punishment.
I came across this really great comment by user Jade Mallow on Reddit during the SilkSong difficulty discourse that broke down the fundamental difference between D and P really well.
Difficulty is the mechanical demand.
Okay, I'm sure he's going to make a great point, and I'm sure this Reddit post is well thought out. But I'm going to be honest with you. Seeing all these multi-paragraph Reddit posts about SilkSong difficulty during the discourse all pissed me the fuck off, because every one of them spoke like they were the objective truth handed down from God. And they were like, this is objectively bad game design. Says fucking who? I liked it. I fucking liked it. Other people liked it. There's no objective fucking truth to it. One person's objective truth is another person's fucking different opinion. It's so annoying. The way they write is so annoying. It pisses me off. I hate the Reddit style of writing where you try to fucking, I don't know, aggrandize or elaborate it to make it seem like the universal truth when it's just your fucking opinion. I hate it. Now, maybe that's his point. Maybe that's his point. I'm sorry if I'm cutting him off, but it sounds like he's going to give this a lot of credit, and I wouldn't give this that much credit. I'm sure there is an idea. I mean, listen, Isto kind of explained this to me when we designed Get to Work. I designed it. He was like, listen, these parts can be harder, but only if the punishment isn't so much. Do you know what I'm saying? Because otherwise it's too much. I totally get that. The levels that have a really hard jump, well, you should make them not fall so far so it's not so desperate. But that, I get that. But understand that, like, by this type of logic, for certain people's skill level, you would never get incredibly hard bosses that become people's like favorite moment of a game. Some things in like Elden Ring or in Dark Souls or in SilkSong are super fucking hard, but people really enjoy finally overcoming them. It's like awesome. So to say that there's some objective truth that would cut that one out and leave that one in, it's stupid. It just depends on the person, on different players' willingness to put their hours in, enjoyment of the grind. You know what I'm saying? It's you can't appeal to everybody. It's impossible.
On the player during gameplay. How fun.
Whether it's precise physical inputs during a platformer or action game, or mental acuity or problem-solving ability during a puzzle or strategy game.
And punishment.
Hera!
Problem-solving ability during a puzzle or strategy.
Bro! Shout out! Look at this old fucking game, dude. Nobody still plays this, right? It'd be fucking insane if people were still playing this in 2025. Hundreds of hours. Putting their whole life into it, that'd be crazy. This game's so old.
And punishment is what happens when the player fails to meet those demands.
You fall into a hole, you gotta restart the level. You die from a boss, you gotta go back to the bonfire. You accidentally skip a cutscene when you didn't mean to in a Kojima game, and now you are just so fucking confused. Who is Mr. Corndog Man, and how am I ever supposed to figure out what his favorite microwavable frozen snack is? Celeste, really high difficulty, extremely low punishment. Difficulty on my made-up graph here is like an 8. Punishment is like a 1. If we split the difference, we can calculate an overall bullshit factor of 4.5. Balatro over here is like the polar opposite. Pretty low second-to-second difficulty demand on the player, let's say like a 2. However, very high punishment because when you fail, you have to start your entire run over, but each run is pretty short, so I don't know, let's say like a 7, giving an overall bullshit factor of 4.5. But what about something like Resident Evil? Mechanically, it's pretty difficult, mostly just because the fucking tank controls. But it's really the punishment that is often brutal. Save rooms are the only checkpoints in the game, so if you die, you will always go back to the last time you saved.
Yeah.
But in order to save, you have to use these ink ribbon items, and there's a finite amount of them in the game. Goddamn. So a difficulty demand of like, I don't know, 5, but a punishment of like 9. And if we have our hamster crunch our numbers, we can get a bullshit factor of 7. Ooh,
it's too high.
Definitely not a game for everyone. But what about Resident Evil 4? That's why he's the GOAT. Mechanically, it's a lot more demanding now because it's full-on action, but the punishment is way more chill. You get an automatic checkpoint at the beginning of every new room you waltz into, so if you die, it's okay, Leon, just try again. So although the difficulty demand is a bit higher of, let's say, a 6.5, I don't know, none of these numbers are real, but the punishment is more chill, let's say like a 3, given a bullshit factor of 4.75, making it way more accessible to way more gamers, leading to way more people actually reaching the end of the game, which you should. There's a jet ski.
Oh my god, I just spoiled the fucking jet ski. I'm so fucking sorry.
Also, Mark Brown of Game Maker's Toolkit dropped a video about SilkSong and difficulty and basically just explained everything I just did, but way better and more effectively. And he also used the graph, and I watched that.
Yeah, but you're a YouTuber.
Man,
so
I did not go to college.
Okay, that's enough for that. I think it's time for me to talk. Okay.
You know what? No, actually, you shut the fuck up and wait a second, because I actually made merch for once to commemorate this whole 10 years of dog shit thing on ballcreative.store. So you know what? You could. I'm gonna take the talking stick for a second, okay? We got some serious pieces, okay? You guys remember the thank you for watching Arial font? Also, sometimes I've written it down. Do you remember the Tom Hanks shirt?
That
we got a
sounds
Jacob
good.
Hanks shirt now. There was that one time I sat on a ball Creative LLC. We got the big graphic on the back. Ballcreative.store. Okay. All right, lawyer, it's your turn. Go keep our lights on. Okay. Thank you. I guess now it's my turn with the talking stick. Hi, I'm Jakey, and
okay, I have to skip this. I have to buy the merch, but rocketmoney.com/Atrioc. Rocketmoney.com/Atrioc.
this video, and now let's get back to the
rocketmoney.com/Atrioc.
What you doing this time? Check this out. He's probably so outdated. He's just like a mangled mangled bag of bones and
By the way, shout out to Rocket Money. We just renewed today. Shout out Rocket Money, the longest running Marketing Monday supporter / Big A supporter. They just renewed at a higher rate. And I would have signed for a lower rate. Ha ha ha. I didn't even negotiate. They renewed for a higher rate. Easy got them, baby. Shout out Rocket Money. Appreciate that.
Sawdust, and he's still wearing a really cool tap out shirt that says something like pain is just freakness leaving the body, and a snapback that says whatever. Okay, I'll miss you.
But within D and P, there's more specific types of F, or friction. Some being nice heavenly friction, and some being evil little frickers. More like split friction. Go ahead and write that down.
I'm gonna need a freaking frictionary to keep up with this guy.
Very nice.
And yeah, I am the teacher's pet, in case you were wondering. Going back to Resident Evil, you could argue the high punishment is necessary though, because it provides stakes. It gives you something to lose, makes you think more carefully about your decisions the next time.
But
You
most
don't wanna die.
importantly, that friction is a fundamental tool to immerse you into a world that is supposed to make you feel poor, lost, and scared, or PLS. Please write that down as well.
You got it, teach. I'm still the teacher's pet.
Example of a bad friction, a little fricker. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy on the Sony PS2.
You drive across the big-ass map to start a mission. During the mission, you drive back to the other side of the big-ass map. Somewhere along the way, you die to some random bullshit. You awaken at a hospital with less money, none of your weapons, and on top of that, now you get to drive all the way back across the map just to start the mission over again. GTA 4 added the immediate retry text message, which was huge. And
This is why I've never beaten. I don't think I've ever beaten a Grand Theft. Maybe Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't think I ever beat them. I always do the missions for a little bit, and then I get sidetracked with other things, and then I end up just fucking around until I forget what I was doing, and then I quit. I only get like halfway through. I don't think I've ever beaten the full story. Maybe GTA 4 I did, because I was completely fucking stuck at home, and I just grinded that game. But
Red Dead Redemption and onward just had full-on automatic checkpoints during the missions. Where for better or worse, now there's like 0 stakes, vastly decreasing the punishment to like a 1, while also making the difficulty like a 2 or 3, calculating a bullshit factor of 2, making them extremely accessible to gamers of all skill levels and sold like a trillion copies. I don't really know, man. I never really played them. I got Gamecast.
But it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that in the year 2025 AD, gamers love getting they ass beat.
Dark Souls, especially at the time of its release, was like 999 difficulty punishment bullshit factor. It is straight up obnoxious to a new player. But it also wouldn't be nearly as memorable or meaningful an experience if it didn't beat your ass in the manner it does, while also having such a rich world full of unexplained secrets making you say please. But Dark Souls is far from perfect and also has some really bad frictional aspects as well, aka how nothing is balanced at all and you can get cursed by frogs, and some runbacks are just obnoxious to be obnoxious, and some areas run like shit, and some areas just aren't finished. But Dark Souls inspired a billion games after it, including Hollow Knight.
While playing SilkSong, I thought about a lot of different Souls games, but more specifically Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, because I feel they have a lot in common.
Erdtree, more so than any Souls game prior, cranked that difficulty knob so goddamn high it nearly broke off the Miyazaki flux capacitor. But it also had relatively low punishment a lot of the time, at least when it comes to many of the boss fights. FromSoft gradually realized that, hey, do you guys think that maybe forcing the player to do a run back every single time they want to attempt a really hard boss might be a pointless waste of time that offers no stimulating challenge beyond proving you can do the same thing over and over again? Perchance, yes. But we can still do the fucked up swamp level, right? Well, yeah. I mean, come on. God, I love working here. We're all so fucked up. That's why most bosses have a checkpoint right outside the door. Now they can have a boss that two-shots you with a never-ending 20-hit combo without fully maximizing that bullshit meter to where I stop playing. Although, sometimes I got pretty fucking close. Some of those fuckers were just way too fast. It's like they went back to making Sekiro bosses, but with Dark Souls 3 combat. And you just get to die a billion times until you can finally differentiate which combos actually end and which ones just extend. That was a good fight though too. Infinity. Goddamn girl, how much stamina you fucking got? And I soloed the last boss at launch before they nerfed him, and I have footage of it to prove it. So don't you dare reduce any possible criticism to get good, pussy.
I had a whole video about Erdtree that I actually canceled because it just wasn't very good, and a lot of my complaints at the time did sort of just boil down to skill issue, but I had a pre-release review copy and everything courtesy of Bandai Namco.
That's cool.
I probably should have put the video out. Actually, that's my bad. Sorry about that one.
My theory is that the main reason many people are saying Skong is too hard is because when they upped that difficulty knob, they did not also adjust that punishment knob accordingly. Combat, platforming, and bosses are all typically much more demanding than a lot of Hollow Knight 1. Certain enemies hit you for 2 masks. Most bosses hit you for 2 masks.
Yeah, but you heal for
even
3.
Environmental hazards sometimes hit you for 2 masks. And you only start with 5, so if my calculus is correct, that's a 3-mistake wiggle room you're rocking with. And even when you finally get a 6th mask after hunting down 4 different mask shards, you still die in 3 hits because 6 divided by 2 is still 3, so why didn't I just start with 6 masks to make that first new mask actually hit once I got it?
You got me over here doing fucking bug math.
But like Hollow Knight 1, the punishment for failure is having to repeat sometimes long, sometimes short, but oftentimes tedious run-back sections just to get another crack at a boss you have 0 knowledge on. And 3 mistakes to quickly try and learn that boss before once again walking your white bug ass back to 8 Mile.
Which this is really the core nugget and central thing I was trying to get to this whole time. When is it fun to repeat stuff?
Because, okay, in an effort to be a fair critic, perchance we look at it a different way. One could argue Silky is actually predominantly a platformer that just heavily features combat. And in many platformers, the punishment for failure is having to complete many sections that you have already completed because that's where the sense of accomplishment often stems from. It's like fighting Bowser at the end of a Mario level, but this Bowser boofs creatine. And finally beating Boof Bowser might not be as satisfying if the stakes of really not wanting to do that fucking run back again weren't there. Remember stakes and punishment and friction and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Resident Evil, we talked about it, remember? But also, I felt that proving I can get to the last judge boss fight over and over didn't really add anything to my eventual sense of accomplishment when I beat it. It's just a bunch of time spent I know I will never get back.
But hold on there, Yogi Bear. To counter my counter, I then read the article.
Okay, is he going to say? Because what I would say is, yeah, maybe for that fight, but it's almost like making you do the platforming runbacks forces you to become a better platformer so they can make the next platforming things more complicated because you practice so much unintentionally. Do you know what I'm saying? So you do it like that.
Hollow Knight SilkSong's hardest checkpoint.
Pre-watch, not pre-watch. I'm just
by Lee Brady on my favorite gaming publication I've definitely heard of before, TrueAchievements.com.
And Lee made a pretty damn compelling argument in favor of this now notorious runbacks inclusion, essentially saying that this sharp jump in difficulty right at the end of Act 1 is a final test to the player to make sure that they can hang once it gets really fucked up in Act 2. The player, fueled by their impatience and frustration, will likely get much better at platforming simply because they want to get through this ass play as fast as possible. Maybe even discovering shortcuts along the way via nail bouncing, which is certainly a skill Act 2 wants you to be pretty fucking good at. And with this particular, now infamous runback to the last judge,
I surprisingly might actually side with Lee Brady on this one. You know what? Fuck it. Shout out TrueAchievements.com. They should pay me for all these shout outs they're getting. But also, in perchance, let me just say this. When I finally did beat the last judge, I fucking died from the explosion because my dumbass put the controller down.
Me too.
Thing when they die, but this one actually fucking crazy. Exploded. And now I get to do all of that over again because apparently I sinned a lot in a past life.
But even if you're in the camp that thinks runbacks are a key component of this game, what about all the runbacks that don't really have anything going on?
If every death requires me to mindlessly run back to a bathroom, I gotta run to a bathroom and shit my pants. If every death requires me to mindlessly run back to a boss room without any actual challenge thrown my way, then what is the point of the runbacks inclusion at all other than just adding hours to my overall playtime?
I'm legit asking you, yes, you, whoever's watching this right now, am I being a crazy?
Okay, but I feel like when they didn't need the run back, most of them were really short. I feel like there might be a couple that suck. I'm not, I definitely got frustrated in the Grohl fight, so I'm not gonna, but I feel like most of the time they had a really close spawn when it didn't matter. But I could be misremembering.
The impatient iPad baby. I'm legit asking you right now. Be honest with me. Go down in the comments. Let me know. Do I need a Binky and a Binky and a Baby Bjorn to cruise around in? Let's start a poll. Let's hear from the people. Let's get it started. Shout out Black Eyed Peas. Let's get it started. Do not look up the original lyrics to that song, though.
And do not even get it Black Eyed Peas started on the dirty dog shit piece of hogwash hog calling contest that is Coral Tower. Having to wait for Hornet to wake up, play the song again, wake up again, launch up into the room, get into the room, and then finally attempt the marathon of 3 separate Hell in a Cells full of freaky flyer miles that take 1 billion fucking hits to kill. Every single time you die is so wildly unnecessary and fucking infuriating. I'm spitting right now. Honestly, that run back of just having to wait for Coral Tower pissed me off more than any of the actual fights in this game because it turned out the hardest boss was the fucking clock in my house, but you would not believe his backstory. It's demented as shit. The nicest thing I can say about Coral Tower is that at least your fucking weapon tools don't run out because you're going into a dream. I use the hunter's crest. You're a hunter, you're going into a dream. You get fucked up by crows, and this is just Bloodborne.
Do you know how many people I have recommended Bloodborne to who quickly bounced off it just because the beginning is so goddamn impossible to a new player?
I have been racking my brain for years trying to understand why Bloodborne chose to have finite healing vials and bullets. I really want to understand the seemingly obtuse design choice of letting the player easily fall into the negative loop of, I'm dying because I used up all my blood vials, but I can't get more blood vials because I can't stop dying.
All right, well, my whole point is that when it comes to many
I haven't played Bloodborne, but that sounds
SilkSong,
pretty bad.
It's kind of the same shit.
If you want to use the very cool tool weapons during very difficult boss fights, you're first gonna have to stock up on shards by grinding enemies or by purchasing shard bundles. I actually gamified the crap out of this once I was in Act 2 by getting really good at fighting these big guys.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
And I just do it until I had like 1,000 rosaries to spend on shard bundles and everything else that's expensive as fuck because the rosary economy is in the gutter. Bro, bosses can't even afford to have any. You are so seriously PLS'd up for so much of this game if you don't grind, because the majority of bosses give you jack.
Okay, I do think just for quality of life, Team Cherry, just having the boss explode with money is fun. I agree. If that's honestly my biggest criticism. It's like I even care. I just think when you beat a boss, it should explode with stuff. People like that. It feels good to be the boss, and then a bunch of things come out and you get it. It should that is like that's a proven reward system that makes your brain feel good. Beating a boss and the reward being like, well, you can go on. That's very poignant, but I think people want to have
shit, like even dropping a couple Benjamins would really help me out. I think what they wanted to do with shards is give you an extra incentive to engage with enemies while you're out exploring other than just rosaries, but I think you could still achieve that if resting at a bench at least always refilled your tools like 30%. Hell, while I'm at it, do the same thing for Bloodborne and at least give me like 3 blood vials. Okay, 2. Okay, fine, just give me 1, goddammit. Bloodborne has super tedious runbacks, an overly punishing difficulty, and fucked up birds that will make you want to throw up. It also has one of the most engrossing worlds that I have ever experienced in a video game that shoves its claws deep into your fucking skull and refuses to ever let go, and some of the finest boss battles ever crafted by human hands. It is one of the best games I have ever played that is extremely hard to recommend to any of my friends. Put SilkSong in that fucking Mad Lib, and now we're finally getting somewhere, okay? Critical Jitical can go fuck off and flick his clitical, okay? He can go get analytical, spherical, miracle. You're now just talking with a 30-year-old man who really loves a game about bugs.
Oh, shit. He's spitting.
I want to tell you about a bench. This is a bench in Tompkins Square Park, East Village, New York. I sat on a piece just like this for dozens of hours in 2020 while I was writing a video called Naughty Dog's Game Design is Outdated. Saying an entire company's game design is outdated is certainly a choice.
Yeah, but I do stand by the vast majority of what I said in that video, and I continue to have strong feelings about that game and that story to this day. Not because I don't want it to exist or, oh, fuck that game, I don't care. It's the opposite. It's actually because I care so much about it existing at all. But I also think with the culture of YouTube and advertising at large...
What was his take on Last of Us 2? I don't think I've seen that video. But I liked Last of Us 2. Not as much as Last of Us 1, but I liked them both. You thought it was too woke? I see.
If you want your stuff to actually be seen by an audience, you also kind of got to play the game a little bit. And Naughty Dog's Game Design is Outdated is a lot more intriguing and succinct than Naughty Dog's game design is super insanely impressive in 1,000 different ways and one of the best third-person shooters ever, but the clear dissonance between how the cutscenes and gameplay handle the incredibly graphic violence that is central to the story feels empty, outlandish, and outdated. Saying that Fallout 3 is garbage sounds pretty brutal, but then you watch that video and you're like, yeah, man, especially compared to New Vegas, Fallout 3 is pretty garbage. But also, without Fallout 3, there is no New Vegas or Skyrim, so obviously there is merit to that game, but Fallout 3 is garbage is a lot more intriguing and succinct than Fallout 3 is important, but is also a really bad RPG with very poor writing and narrow choices that completely disrespect the design philosophy of prior entries in the series. I mean, to be fair, I
played it when I was a kid. I liked it.
Titled that as well. By the way, in no world is this me going after H. bomber guy of all people. Are you fucking kidding me? I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I love bro and his videos. Do not misinterpret me, for the love of God. But on YouTube at large, when it comes to gaming video essay review type videos, there does seem to be a specific tone and type of video that is popping up more and more often. I'm speaking with the attitude that I know better than the people who actually manage to create something against all odds, and I want my viewers to also feel a sense of superiority because hating stuff is easier than making it. Also, I think Margot Robbie is mid.
Like, once again, to myself included, bro, we are not the thinker. I promise I'm doing this because I just really care about the medium, and I'm not just carelessly looking around for things to shit on. But have I mentioned that I 100%ed this game and played it for 80 hours and frequently felt like I was having a once every 10 years transcendent gaming experience? Because that all feels pretty important too.
Yes, this game is probably too hard for a lot of people and has some frictionary design concepts that I am not that crazy about. But I am crazy about this game.
Yeah.
So crazy that it put me in an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Listen to this bug. Is that even a design concept? I don't even, just give it a 10 already and let's fucking move on. Playing through the vast majority of this game without looking anything up definitely led to some really difficult moments, but it also gave me what I am finally, after years and years and years, realizing is my favorite emotion that is possible from playing a video game.
Childlike wonder.
Ooh.
This shit is endless. This world feels infinite. How are there this many different enemies in this many different...
I would have liked to have played it off stream too. I just wouldn't have played it off stream, I guess. Because there's something, it's like something different about it when you play it on stream in some way. But I will say I very, very, very much still felt this. Like, the amount of times I remember feeling blown away that there was a whole nother world in this tiny little fucking gap of a hole that you find behind a nook, behind a cranny, is crazy. It's crazy. A whole nother massive zone with a cool, unique background and soundtrack and music, and I could have just missed it. That was the Wisp Thicket. That was crazy.
Bosses, and this many different bug NPCs, in this many amount, this word is starting to feel weird, I've said it too many times, amount of secret walls that open up entirely new areas.
Every bug sings their own individual song. Do you realize how many fucking bugs are in this game? I whipped my needle out constantly and was so consistently shocked by the results. I mean, just look at this shit.
You shouldn't whip your needle out without asking. Oh, that's cool. I never found that.
I know a lot of you just fucking sped past that spoiler warning at the beginning of the video, and now maybe you'll go play the game, and you should, because I guarantee you will still be so surprised by so many things in this game, because this video would need to be like 9 hours long in order for me to spoil all of it. Learning to move through this world with the speed and precision and grace of like an opera on roller skates, we had to mention Counter-Strike one time, is euphoric. Like, you can't really explain to someone how good this game feels unless they actually play it, because of all the animations. She does the fucking Castlevania shit. The bosses in SilkSong have such an incredible pacing to them. So many fights feel like this pitch perfect, harmonious duet that you and bro are singing together until someone eventually dies. Discovering the mist, slowly realizing the Lost Woods ass style way to navigate it, reaching the exhaust organ, encountering the motherfucker maestro inside responsible for your soundtrack, experiencing what is arguably my favorite boss fight in the whole game, and then on top of that, you get a fucking parry ability? Are you pulling my leg off right now? Stop!
Did he figure out to play Brat?
Experiencing that shit on a Steam Deck in bed at like 4 a.m. has already cemented itself as one of my favorite memories from any game I have ever played. Oh, the run back for
Phantom is kind of annoying, though, because it's just these mindless gas vents.
You better shut the goddamn hell up right now. Do not make me send you back to Mr. Corndog Man, because I fucking will. I'll fucking send you back to the Corndog Man.
Bro, who gives a shit that the runback is a little annoying? Do you hear this music playing right now? I mean, I don't, because I'm in a fallout shelter, but you do. I'm sure it's nice. It must be nice.
It is.
Must be nice.
It is.
Christopher Larkin, what gives you the goddamn right? You have the audacity to write music this good and not put the main battle theme on Spotify? What the fuck?
Yes, this theme, one that often plays during those Hell in a Cells, is one of my favorite songs in the entire game. It got me fired up every single time I heard it, and somehow has the perfect concoction of like determination and fear and uncertainty, and I just
he
really
did it live
like
too, it looks like.
And you decided to leave it off the official
What
soundtrack,
the fuck, Christopher
Mr.
Larkin?
Because someone, wanted to see my ball growl. And let me just also say this. She's an old dog, but she still barks. The way this game conveys the crooked nature of this corrupt bug world through its environments, dialogue, and gameplay is second to no one. I kept notes on my phone to remember things like a door that I would need to return to or an NPC I just thought was really interesting and I liked. Finding Loam, hearing his pain grunting and dialogue.
That's a good idea.
Running on the little treadmill next to him.
I just put little markers
to
on the map and then forgot what they
eventually be
meant.
rewarded with one rosary along with Loam's praise.
It all paints such a vivid and devastating picture of what's going on here.
It's similar to the confession booth you can pay 25 rosaries for. It literally does nothing. You can do it a billion times. It will always do nothing. And that's amazing. One of the only times I looked something up in this game was in Bile Water, the most bullshit part of this game by far. A now infamous platforming gauntlet through poison where one of your rewards is a fake bench that drops you right back into poison. My brother mentioned that there was actually another secret bench to make the most brutal runback in the game by far easier, and I just got really tired of trying to look for it, so I eventually caved and Googled it. But that search inadvertently revealed to me that there was actually a charm I could get in an area I didn't even know existed that would help with the poison. Would I have found that area on my own if I didn't look it up? Maybe. But probably not. If every area in this game was as frustratingly obtuse and punishing as Bile Water, I certainly would not love it as much as I currently do. But I can admit that there is value in having something in the age of online discussion be so hard that it requires help from others to overcome, and that every possible inch in secret will be discovered eventually through that shared connection.
Right. So what's the point of this entire video and what I have apparently decided to yap about this time? Honestly, I think I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Okay.
This is a game that I clearly have many problems with, but I am simultaneously so overwhelmed with gratitude that it even exists at all. And it's $20. This game is cheaper than the...
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this must be true for most people. I don't understand. Like, all the shit that you feel angry about, for me, goes away the second you beat it. I don't hold a grudge. I don't even hold a grudge. Like, once you beat the part that is frustrating, I'm not like sitting there like, God, that was so fucking... It's only bullshit when you're doing it. I don't understand how people can still be mad. Like, once you beat the game, it's like, wow, that was great. I feel awesome. Maybe if you quit, I can understand. It's like that they made the game too punishing for me to enjoy it. That's fine. I'm not doing a get good thing. I think that's a fair criticism, especially if you only have a less time to play or whatever. I get it. I'm not saying everybody has to love this game, but I think it's weird that someone could beat it and then be like, this was a terrible design choice. Once it's over, it's like, that was awesome.
T-shirts I am trying to sell to you. Team Cherry, you're fucking up my whole thing.
I have been doing this for 10 years now, and I feel like I have learned a billion things about writing and making videos, but I also feel like I haven't learned a single fucking thing, and I still have no idea what I'm doing.
I think I'd like to keep making videos for the next 10 years if, you know, and if you or anyone else watching is still watching, but we both know my upload frequency has become less and less over time, and I think I'm still trying to pinpoint exactly why, but I hope I figure it out. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching my video and for watching any of the videos. I told myself I wasn't gonna fucking cry. Any of the videos in the past 10 years, and I will see you next time.
Very sweet. Cinema. Wait, why is there a lot left? Why is there a lot left? There's this fake suggested video at the end. That was a really good video. It's in Act 3.
And figure it out. But also, perchance we just try and figure it out right now instead.
Perchance? Act 3! Holy shit.
Oh, sorry, I need your car. I'm late for my YouTube video, sorry. Dude, I've been sitting here for weeks and I've just been racking my brain day after day, night after night. Wait, hold on, I want to hit this jump real quick. Can I line this up? Still got it. I think as far as the like, why has my upload schedule been more infrequent? I think dude, Playboy X, you gotta stop. I think it comes down to two main reasons that I've been thinking about a lot. The first one, unfortunately, I think is an unhealthy one where I care way too much what other people think. Wait, hold on. I want to try to do a barrel roll off this ramp. Shit. All right. And it's not limited to just videos. Anyone that's a fan of my music, which I appreciate that. I think that
he makes music?
It's even worse when it comes to that. And I'm actively working on music and I really want to release it, but I think it's never good enough and it always just fucking cringes me out or I hate it or whatever. And I think Playboy, you gotta cut it out, dude. I think I have a very irrational fear of, like, my worst case scenario is uploading a video and being the, oh, here's this fucking guy again guy. You know what I mean? Oh, here's this fucking guy again doing the same formula, doing the same nostalgia thing. Oh, he's on the ball, he's on the green screen, which it's like, it's not that. That's really reductive. Just like it's really reductive of me to suggest that so much of YouTube gaming is like oversaturated, you know, sea of guys standing in front of thumbnails, because it's not. There's so many people that are consistently putting out really thoughtful, interesting videos. So I was talking to a really nice bartender
it could be both,
the other
right?
night. You know who you are. He asked me, how did you even get started making videos? Like what led you to it? And I was also pretty drunk, but I think I gave him a pretty honest answer of like, I consumed a lot of YouTube and I just had the thought, oh, I wonder if I can do that. Oh God.
Yeah.
This could not get worse. And I think that I wonder if I can do that is a very powerful feeling. And
and now there's like 1 million more people who, I mean, tens of millions of more people who grew up on YouTube, and so there's gonna be more people doing it. I think everything on YouTube is oversaturated in a way. That's just the nature of it. Anything that gets any kind of views will have 1,000 people doing the same kind of thing. That's just how it does. But it doesn't mean like stuff like his awesome content doesn't break through the noise, because it takes so much more skill and heart and passion. Like I don't know. I don't think it's that depressing.
Phrase that it has led, at least me personally, to doing a lot of things that I've had a lot of creative fulfillment out of. But the second reason, and one that I don't think it's as unhealthy, I never want to put something out that I don't care about. And obviously that's only a luxury I can afford if I can afford it. For better or worse, I know what it feels like to be absolutely juiced up and passionate about a project. And the downside, the double-edged sword of that, you know exactly how it feels when you don't feel that. Because I know what it feels like to feel inspired by something or what direction I want to be pulled in. It's just not necessarily in the same way that it has been, which was discovering this formula of mine and figuring out how I can express different things about different ideas, or, you know, whether it's more nostalgic or more critical or just something I wanted to talk about or whatever. It's been an incredibly life-changing and life-affirming. I don't know if I'm using that in the right way of, you know, as someone that didn't really have any sort of path lined out post-high school, I think that it's been a really, really rewarding 10 years that has required navigating and learning a lot. It's not something that I ever want to stop doing. I think it's just that the typical format
he seems like a real soulful dude.
Feeling is outdated. I think that along with making more videos and finally releasing more music and really pushing myself on that front and stop getting way too in my own head about it, I think my actual like wet dream. I probably shouldn't phrase it like that. It's something that I've already publicly talked about, but with Ball Creative, I really do want to expand into other things, and obviously game development, but I also know how difficult of an undertaking that is. I also know what it feels like to really
make a game in no time.
Be curious about
I made one in a year without any coding knowledge, and I coded it all myself.
That is the route that I am headed down, and it is a dream of mine to do that with my brothers. But I think the further dream, if I'm being really honest, is the idea of we make something and whatever, you know, I'm pretty sure shoddy, sloppy piece of shit that it will be, especially as a first game, and making games are so fucking hard, and that some fuck on YouTube makes a video called NakeyJakey's game design is outdated. That is my absolute dream, because I know that person only made that video because they care so much. The only reason you stay up at night writing a script or film yourself, which is weird as fuck. What I'm doing right now, if you could see the way my camera is set up in my hallway, I got McDonald's delivered and it looked like I'm filming a fucking snuff film. Filming yourself is weird as fuck, and so I would know that that person only made that video because they care about gaming or about YouTube or about just talking some shit so much that
but that's not true. I mean, someone might make it for that reason, but someone might make it for the money, because that clickbait would work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the nature of YouTube, is that like some people will make it because they care and some people will make it for the money. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how it is gonna be. I don't know how to
spent time making something, and I think that,
and then you know, ideally I think
that is
the stuff that's made
thing. I think that's
with some heart or some real passion
the
stands
best
out.
Things are inevitably outdated. Every single one of my favorite games, what I'm presently playing definitely included, is outdated or heavily flawed in some way. That's partially what makes them so beautiful, is you can see the cracks in between of like the human passion that went into it, because it's not just some fucking AI fed slop. Michelle, you're fucking outdated. GTA 4, truer nostalgia. Bro, shut the fuck up. At times, I think that this is maybe my favorite game ever made, and it is so heavily flawed. Rockstar's game design is outdated, it says the guy who's made a billion videos about Rockstar and is currently playing one right now. I love that video, and I'm really proud of myself for making it, especially at the time when I did, but also like, Red Dead Redemption 2 might be the greatest story ever told in a video game. Bethesda's game design was outdated a decade ago. Actually, though, what are they doing over there with the Fallout Anniversary Edition? Dude, Fallout 4...
He's got a point.
Like, it runs worse, and it's $60 for a game that's, what, now 10 years old? It's as old as my fucking YouTube channel? Like, I love Todd, and I want Elder Scrolls 6 to be really good, but man, they are really burning a lot of bridges with their fans, dude. Anyways, if you're seeing this right now, or if I'm just somehow... I should probably talk more into the mic, or if I'm just somehow telepathically communicating to anyone who has ever watched one of my videos, I truly mean it. Thank you. I'm not going to cry this time. I'm probably going to cry. Thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
I'm not going anywhere. I want to keep making stuff. It just might be a little different, and
that's cool. Yeah, you should do different things over 10 years, bro.
If you ever feel
this is a great video.
I wonder if I can do that. Oh, I knew I was gonna cry. I wonder if I can do that. Fucking do it. I'll see you next time.
Great video. Great video, man. NakeyJakey's great.